Hello and welcome to Red Earth Tales. This is a story about love, about betrayal, and about selfishness. The title of this story is Did Nneoma Kill Her Husband? Part 2. A story was once told about a married woman from Donato's village who could not get pregnant simply because her ex-boyfriend paid for her food when they met at an eatery. Well, she finally got pregnant after a cleansing ritual was done. Another story was told of how an educated lady named Nneoma, who hails from the same village as Donatus. In Nneoma's case, she was well informed about the culture that says you shall not give your family money without your husband's permission, even if you worked hard for it, even if it was a family that trained you in the university or trained you in the skill with which you earn such money from. Nneoma vehemently refused to follow that culture, claiming that her parents paid her school fees and as such, she would give them money without consulting her husband. According to the story, Nneoma had 3 differently abled children because of that singular disobedient act. Back to Nneoma's story. In no less than 2 months from the day Nneoma started interacting with her ex Ifeanyi, she became ill. At first, Donatus took her to different hospitals, but none could fathom what the problem was, and so Donatus became suspicious. In his mind, Donatus questioned Nneoma's fidelity, but he couldn't summon the courage to ask her. Donatus became very scared that if anything should happen to his wife, he would be greatly blamed for not telling her about his people's culture. As a matter of fact, he deliberately hid that part of his culture from her because most women dumped him when he told them about this culture of theirs. Donatus went to his auntie's house and told her about his wife's ailment. The aunt asked if he told her about the culture, and Donatus said no. The auntie now organized a group of women from the community to ask Nneoma questions. Nneoma claimed she didn't do anything with any man other than her husband. They asked and asked severally, but she still insisted on her innocence. Then one of the women asked her if she by any way admired and flirted with any other man other than her husband. Nneoma answered that getting married does not stop anybody from admiring others, but as for flirting, she has an ex that she is in constant communication with, and that is because her husband does not see her worth anymore. One of the women shouted, "Aha! That is where the problem lies. You are not allowed to cheat on your husband, and our land considers flirting as cheating. Our ancestors have come for you, and you must perform a cleansing ritual. Else, you will not come out of this with your sanity intact, and afterwards, you will die." Nneoma asked her husband why he didn't tell her about this tradition. She was made to go through the cleansing ritual, after which the women told her everything she needs to know about her husband's tradition. According to the women, if you are bathing and a man other than your husband calls you, do not answer. You must not flirt with nor sleep with any other man than your husband. If you do so, you must confess to your husband and on time, so that a cleansing ritual can be performed on you immediately. Else you will lose your sanity, and afterwards you will lose your existence. If you tell your husband and he does nothing about it and continues to eat your food and live in the same house as you, then the repercussion will be on him. Nneoma became sad and scared. She cut all ties with her ex, Ifeanyi. Ifeanyi tried wishing her for some time, but later gave up. Nneoma tried her best to move on and be a better wife to her husband, but Donatus was bitter. He was angry about so many things. He was angry that his wife could even think of flirting with her ex. He was angry that his wife has dented his image in the community because the ritual was conducted in the full glare of everyone in the community. He harbored so much hatred in his heart that he stopped making love advances to her. He became so cold to her that they would be in the same house and he would barely talk to her. Sometimes, Nneoma would go on her knees and apologize and beg him to forgive her. But Donatus would tell her that he has forgiven her a long time ago, that he bears no grudge or anger towards her. He would even hug her for a brief moment and then ask her to give him space that he wants to walk. Deep down in Nneoma's heart, she knew she was in trouble, that her husband is angry, but he is dealing with her silently. And that silence is killing her. He will talk with his women on the phone right before her, and she won't say a word because she has been found guilty of the same offense, more so by the gods of the land. Nneoma begged for his attention and love, but Donatus made up his mind to punish her for a whole year before he can forgive her and continue having any romantic relationship with her again. Nneoma would go to Donatus' auntie's house and beg her on bended knees to please beg Donatus on her behalf. But his auntie would advise her to give him time to come around, that he's merely nursing his ego. On the 7th month of her ordeal, Nneoma felt she has had enough of her husband's silent treatment. Remember that one of the rules says that if a lady cheats and her husband knows about the cheating and still goes ahead to eat her food and live in the same house with her without conducting the cleansing ritual, then the wrath of the gods will be on the man and not the woman. Nneoma says enough is enough. Whatever thing that will happen tomorrow, let it happen today. A resolute woman. What did the Bible say again about the wrath of a scorned woman? Ifeanyi was discussing with his wife when Nneoma's call came in. Ifeanyi was pleasantly surprised. He told his wife that he had a business to take care of. He excused himself and left to meet Nneoma. Nneoma and Ifeanyi met at a pub and spent the whole day together. It was evening and Donatus came back home to meet only his child and nanny at home, which is quite unusual. He asked the nanny about his wife's whereabouts, but the nanny said she had no idea. Donatus waited patiently for his wife's return. Nneoma came home past 12 midnight. Donatus asked where she was coming from, and she told him that she's just coming from a hotel and that she and her ex had a swell time. Nneoma told Donatus about her fun time with Ifeanyi and did not spare any detail. Donatus didn't take what she said to heart. He felt she was just blabbing. After all, she knew the repercussion of allowing another man. She knew the repercussion of allowing another man have intimacy with her. Nneoma's relationship with Ifeanyi continued, and never for a moment did she hide her escapades. Like the first time, Donatus didn't take her confessions to heart. He felt it was a story of a bitter woman trying to get back her husband, and so he didn't take it to heart. 2 months after Donatus became sick, the hospitals diagnosed him of different sicknesses. His ailments became very severe, and his family became worried. The sickness defied medical treatment. His aunt asked him if his wife has been going against their tradition. He said he's not certain if she does anything with any other man, but that she started coming home late. And each time she comes home, she makes it a point of duty to come tell him about how much fun she had with her ex. The auntie shouted, "Chimo, Donna, you are finished. Have you forgotten that once she discloses such information to you, that the gods will leave her and come after you if you do nothing about such disclosure?" Donatus wept. His auntie wept. Nneoma was summoned by Donatus' family. There and then, Nneoma accused every one of them of being a part of the problem their brother is facing. For a year now, I've come to every one of you individually, narrating my ordeal in the hands of your brother. Did any of you do anything to help me? You all kept saying that I should give him space to nurse his ego while I pine away. Right before me, your brother calls other women sweet names and gives them lots of attention. Who would care for me when my husband believes that the women outside are far better than me? Nobody. And so I took it upon myself to find my own happiness before I die from depression and loneliness. Your brother punished me so much because he knows the tradition will deal with me if I ever lay with another man. Maybe your tradition has a caveat. I sure used it well. One of the men shouted at Nneoma to keep quiet, but Donatus' auntie told him to hold his peace. His auntie told every one of them that Nneoma had complained bitterly and they did nothing, so the blame cannot be apportioned to her alone. Donatus was taken to the village. A native doctor was contacted. After doing the divination, Donatus was told that he became sick as a result of his wife's affair with another man other than him, and that he knew but continued to eat her food and stayed under the same roof with her. Donatus asked what can be done to cleanse him and avert the sickness that threatens to take his life. The native doctor told him that his spirit has already gone to be with his ancestors, and so nothing can be done to avert what is to come, because he came very late. He came after the sickness has eaten deep into him and his spirit has crossed to be with his ancestors. Donatus wailed loudly. His family cried, and Nneoma also cried. The villagers wanted to punish Nneoma, but Donatus' auntie and elders of the community objected. The irate youths were clamoring for her head. The elders said that Donatus knew their tradition and did nothing to cleanse himself when his wife told him. His auntie said that this is a warning to all the men in the village. She said, as a woman, I sometimes regret marrying into our community. Just like Donatus, my late husband used to withhold affection as a correctional tool each time I wronged him. And this is because he knows I cannot meet another man, else I'll lose my sanity. I enjoyed it, but Nneoma is a different person, and her threshold for pain might be low compared to mine. My brother Donatus should have listened to the voice of reason when I told him to put his house in order. The irate youth did not want to listen. They wanted to have Nneoma's head. Months later, Donatus finally went to be with his ancestors as the native doctor had earlier predicted. Now, my question is, who killed Donatus? Is it Nneoma, his wife? Donatus himself? Or the culture and tradition of Donatus' place? We would like to know what you think. We really appreciate your comments. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe and share. Thank you.